This might shock you. Dogs aren't the unconditionally loving creatures we've been led to believe. In fact, your dog might not even like you. I know, it sounds crazy. We've all been told dogs are loyal, loving, and would do anything for us. But what if that's just a comforting myth? The truth is, your dog's behavior might be telling a very different story. And if you're not paying attention, you might be missing some pretty clear signs that they're unhappy with you. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to reveal 8 signs that your dog may not be your biggest fan. But don't worry, if you spot any of these signs, it's not too late to turn things around. Stay with me until the end, and I'll show you how to rebuild trust and strengthen your bond with your furry friend. Sign number 1, they actively avoid you. Let's start with the most obvious and honestly, the most heartbreaking sign, avoidance. If your dog leaves the room every time you enter, it's not because they suddenly remembered an important meeting in the other room. They're avoiding you. Dogs are social animals. They don't just randomly decide to ignore someone they love. If your dog is choosing to be anywhere but near you, it means they feel uncomfortable or unsafe around you. This could be due to past negative experiences. Maybe they associate you with loud noises, harsh discipline, or unpredictable behavior. Or maybe, over time, the trust between you has eroded. The good news? You can fix this by respecting their space and rebuilding that trust step by step. But what if your dog's feelings go beyond simply avoiding you? Let's talk about something even more concerning. Sign number 2, they destroy your stuff on purpose. You come home to find your favorite shoes chewed up, the couch cushions ripped apart, your dog looking completely unbothered. Most people assume this is just boredom or pent-up energy. But what if I told you this destruction might actually be personal? Dogs have an incredibly strong sense of smell, and they are very aware of what belongs to you. If they're specifically targeting your belongings, it's their way of sending a message. I'm not happy with you. This can be a sign of frustration, resentment, or even stress caused by your interactions with them. Instead of just scolding them or brushing it off, take a step back. Ask yourself, am I spending enough quality time with my dog? Am I giving them positive attention? Address the root cause of their stress, and you'll see a difference in their behavior. But not all signs are as obvious as shredded shoes. Some are much more subtle. Sign number 3, they refuse to make eye contact. Eye contact in the dog world is a big deal. When a dog trusts and loves you, they'll look you in the eye with warmth and connection. If your dog consistently avoids your gaze, that's not just shyness, it's a red flag. Avoiding eye contact often means they don't trust you or feel uneasy around you. This is usually the result of how you interact with them. Are you too loud? Too aggressive? Do you invade their space when they're not in the mood? Dogs thrive on consistency, calmness, and positive reinforcement. If they're avoiding eye contact, they may be trying to protect themselves from negative experiences. The key here is patience. Give them space, slow down your interactions, and allow them to come to you on their terms. Now, let's move on to a more obvious warning sign. Sign number 4, they growl or snap at you. This one is hard to ignore, and even harder to accept. If your dog growls, bares their teeth, or snaps at you, it's not just them having a bad day. It's a clear sign they feel threatened or uncomfortable in your presence. Dogs don't growl at people they trust. They growl when they feel unsafe, cornered, or disrespected. If this is happening, it's time to take a hard look at your interactions. Are you too dominant? Do you ignore their boundaries? Are you forcing affection when they don't want it? The solution isn't to punish them. It's to respect their boundaries and focus on positive reinforcement. But what if your dog's dislike is more subtle, like preferring someone else's company over yours? That's coming up next. Sign number 5, they prefer someone else's company. This one might sting. If your dog constantly snuggles up to your partner, your kids, or even a neighbor while ignoring you, it's not just a coincidence. Dogs form strong emotional bonds. And if you're not their top choice, there's a reason. Maybe the other person is more patient, more consistent, or simply spends more quality time with them. Dogs gravitate toward the people who make them feel safe and happy. The good news? You can still become their favorite. Start by spending more quality time with them, play, go for walks, and create positive experiences. And if you're wondering how to become your dog's #1 human, check out our video, How Do Dogs Choose Their Favorite Family Member? But for now, let's talk about the next sign. Sign number 6, they don't wag their tail around you. A wagging tail is often seen as the universal sign of a happy dog. But what if your dog's tail stays still or tucked when they're around you? That's a sign of discomfort. Dogs communicate a lot through their tails, and even the direction of their wagging matters. Studies show that when a dog wags their tail more to the right, they feel positive emotions. But if it wags more to the left, it could mean they feel anxious or even threatened. So next time you see your dog, pay attention to their tail. It might be telling you more than you think. Sign number 7, they refuse your affection. This one is tough. If your dog moves away when you try to pet them or avoids cuddling with you, it's not because they're just independent. It means they don't enjoy your touch or don't feel comfortable with you yet. Some dogs are naturally less affectionate, but if yours used to love cuddles and suddenly avoids them, something has changed. It could be the way you're petting them, or it could be deeper than that, a sign of broken trust. If that happens, the best thing you can do is to give them space. Let them come to you. The more they feel safe and respected, the more likely they are to show affection. Before we wrap up, if you're loving this video and want more tips on understanding your furry friend, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Now, let's get back to the final sign, and perhaps most frustrating, sign 8, they ignore your commands. Does your dog act like they've suddenly lost their hearing when you call their name? This isn't stubbornness. It's a lack of respect and trust. Dogs obey the people they trust and see as strong, reliable leaders. If your dog is ignoring you, it's time to work on that bond. The best way to do that? Give them consistent, positive reinforcement and build respect through patience, not punishment. So, did you recognize any of these signs in your dog? Don't panic. Awareness is the first step to strengthening your bond. If you want to understand your dog even better, click the video on your screen now, 7 normal dog habits that are actually a warning sign. And I'll see you there.